Good afternoon,
There
Miami.
he
My
is.
name is Kevin Jones, and I am the OP2B,
The
like
OP2B. I love that.
the OP2B. So
Yes.
I'm partnering with David. Some of you were at the Christmas party, and it was great to see you there. I am in process of completing. No, I will say this: KWRI is in process of completing the paperwork to make it official. So I'm only quasi-official right now, but I'm looking forward to getting to know y'all. I'll be doing some one-on-ones in a few weeks in person, getting excited about that. But today I want to talk to you about the 7 circles from The One Thing. How many of you have read The One Thing? So many cameras are off.
I know.
Faces. Who wants to turn their camera on and wave at me?
Well, everybody's got
So
COVID.
everyone has COVID. So what you said.
Everybody has COVID. But there are a lot of readers of the One Thing book. And if you haven't read it and you want to put that on your list, or it's on your list for 2022, we do have a ton of copies in the office. So come and get your copy.
Yeah, they're only $75 each, right?
That's it. That's it.
That's
175. I need
175.
Yeah.
Firstborn. Well, guys, when it comes to our lives, we always hear about achieving balance. Balance. Everyone is looking for balance. If you Googled balance today, you would get 693 million hits on the word work-life balance. That's a lot of hits for the word balance. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of wasted writing, actually, because that topic doesn't really exist. Does balance truly exist? The answer is no. Everybody say no. I want you to write the word balance in the air. Write the word balance. Let me see you. Balance, and then erase it. Yeah. It's impossible. It's impossible. Balance seems to be this magical state of being that's tossed in our direction as something we should want to achieve, but it's just out of reach. And we can never actually attain it. So is that balance that we're actually looking for?
No.
I mean, do you love your children the same? No, you love them. Just kidding. So you can't balance everything. In fact, like if you were to stand up, you can kind of see me standing up. Stand on one foot. All right. Those of you who are actually doing this, I appreciate it. So when you're standing on one foot, are you perfectly balanced? No, you're constantly readjusting. All right. Unless you're some kind of Olympic athlete, your body is readjusting, you're moving your arms. So there's not a true balance. Have you ever seen a bird? Birds have to, they have to balance, or a squirrel. Everything is a set of counterbalance because it cannot be equal. So the very act of balance, whether you're standing on a leg, applying weights to a measure, trying to juggle, is an illusion of counterbalancing, shifting back and forth. When we balance on a foot, we're constantly making micro adjustments. So whenever we spend time on one thing, this is what we're talking about. Whenever we spend on one thing, we're taking time away from something else. Okay, so it's truly not balanced. That means when we talk about balancing our time, we're counterbalancing where we spend our time. We're spending time with more of one thing than another. At its core, to counterbalance is to allow yourself to go out of balance. And that's really what we need to do. Allow yourself to go way out of balance. Like we say in The One Thing, the magic doesn't happen when we invest our time in the middle. It happens when we invest it in the extremes. So this means you're fully committing to one thing over another. So fully committing. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges we have, Barbie, is we commit to so many different things at once that we never become a master of anything. And we think that this idea of multitasking is reality. In fact, it's not. It's detrimental. So fully committing to one thing over and over, then pivoting back to another to achieve counterbalance. So by committing to a single priority, giving it its unfair share of time, we increase our focus and our chances of achieving results. So what we really need to do is set up boundaries. We need to set up boundaries, and this actually helps us achieve more because it narrows our focus. Do I have any ADD buddies in the room? All right, so you join the club, all right? And even if you're not ADD, it is very easy for us to get distracted, especially when we don't know what it is we should be doing. All right. So in the one thing, they talk about two main areas of counterbalancing. We talk about our personal life and our work life. Okay. Unfortunately, these can't be the same thing. Those of you with little children, all right, you're spending 8 hours at work. Do you spend 8 hours with your children reading books? No, it's simply not possible to balance that. So when we counterbalance, we know that while we may be putting extra hours in at the office now to achieve a goal, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So whatever the situation may be, counterbalancing helps us make that time productive, so we can put the same level of focus in another important area. You know, when I first got into real estate, I was a full-time teacher. And my wife and I decided, I'm going to put all my effort into real estate for 1 year, because we knew that by focusing my attention on that, I was going to be able to achieve way more greatness. So I didn't have as much time with my family, unfortunately. I didn't have the vacations and the date nights and things that I would have liked to have that year, but I was able to quit teaching. I sold 48 houses while I was a school teacher. I made plenty of money to be able to leverage my business, grow a business, and create an even better life for my family. You know, we took the kids to Disney World last week, and it was the most expensive day ever, over and over.
Over again. Yeah.
And you know what? If I would have done this 5 years ago, it would have been the most stressful week of my life. Right now, it's just swipe, 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 because I put the effort in. I put the focus in at the beginning, and it was counterbalanced. And now I can spend time with my family, and I've changed the financial trajectory, not only for me and my wife, but also for my children. So we talk about counterbalancing as a whole between your professional, personal, but there's way more parts to us, right? You're not just an agent. You're not just a mom. You're not just a dad. You're not just a human. I mean, we have so many different parts to us. So I want to talk about these 7 different areas. So if I can share my screen.
Yes, I've made you co-host.
Fantastic. So can you see my beautiful diagram here? I made. So I want you to think in these 7 areas. And if you've got something to write with, I would encourage you to write this out, because there are these 7 specific areas. And I believe anything else going on in your world could fit into one of these. So I want you to think about your spiritual life. And if you were to talk about your spiritual life and you think on a scale of 1 to 10, where would I rate myself? For your physical health, if you can see, there we go. For my physical health, where would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? For your personal life, some of you are like, what is a personal life? Like having fun, vacations, hanging out with friends, going to the movies, hobbies. For your personal life, where would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? You know, money is only good for the good it can do. And if you are just working and working and working and not able to enjoy that, then there's definitely something wrong. And we need to spend some time focusing on your personal life. What about your key relationships? Are you focused on those relationships? Is there tension in your household? Is there tension with your family or your close friends because you're not spending time with them? Are we creating intentionality with those? And the next 2, job and business. You know, your job is a lead generator, and your business is the empire you're growing. So your job is the day-to-day activities, and your business is the long-term investment you're making in the company you're growing. So where are you on a scale of 1 to 10 in those 2 areas? And then the last one is your finances. And you might think of this in 2 ways. What about your personal finances? And what about your business finances? So when you start to give yourself a score on a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to think, what does someone in a perfect 10 physical health look like? You know, they're clean eating, they're going to the gym a couple times a week, they're doing cardio every day, they're watching what they're doing with their body, they're going to the doctor regularly, they're taking care of themselves. Where would you rate yourself? So as you go around these 7 circles, does anyone, and I want you to speak up, how many of you are at a 10 in all 7 areas? Raise your hand.
Yeah.
How many of you have a 10?
No one ever.
How many of you have a 10 in any of these areas?
That's funny.
So I think we can agree that we all have room for improvement.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I think it's important for us to understand we are more than just an employee. We're more than just a money maker. There's so many other parts to us, and we simply stop focusing on those things, and all of a sudden it's not counterbalanced, it's just off balanced. All right. Now you can't focus on all 7 things at one time. And the goal and the one thing isn't because you only get one of these, it's because you're only focusing on one right now. And once you've accomplished that, you've earned the right to move on to the second thing. Once you've accomplished that, you've earned the right to move on to the third thing. So sometimes important things fall by the wayside more often than they should. Everything can get confusing. So am I allowed to have more than one thing? And if you don't have more than one area of importance in your life, chances are you're neglecting some key areas.
Mhm.
If the only thing important to you is your business, what kind of person are you becoming? If the only thing important to you is your personal life, what is the type of person you're becoming? And is that the type of person you want to become? So the focusing question, what's the one thing I can do for my personal life or for my key relationships that would make everything else easier or unnecessary? And this is a question that should be applied to all 7 circles. So I want you to think about this. We all have things that we should do. Well, we also have things that we do. We put them on our list, like today, I'm going to lead generate, and I'm going to follow up with emails, and I'm going to go pick up my dry cleaning, and I need to take the dog to the vet, and I need to get on Facebook, and I need to make that TikTok video, and I need to go to lunch. All right. We're putting all these things down on our to-do list. And what we really need to be doing is getting that focus. So when you think for your personal life, what are the to-do things for your personal life? What are the to-do things for your spiritual life? And then I want you to rate those things on a scale of 1 to 10. And the things that matter most should go on your should-do list.
Mm.
And this would be labeled a success list. And part of the challenge with our success is we have so many things that we could be doing, but we simply don't do the things we should be doing in these 7 areas. Am I preaching to the choir? Does this make sense?
Amen.
All right. What are you hearing in this conversation? Give me some feedback.
Everything doesn't matter equally.
Mm-mm.
You've got to be selective, almost ruthless.
Yeah. You know, in the time that you're spending focused on this to help you achieve your goal, nothing else matters. You lock yourself in a self-made bunker. You prepare to dedicate yourself to the task at hand.
Yeah.
When you're done with this time block, you counterbalance into another area of your life. So we focus all on one thing, and then we move. When you're at the gym, running on the treadmill, are you lead generating? You might be able to lead generate at the same time.
Yeah. Don't answer client calls on the treadmill.
Well, answer client calls. Focus on your physical health.
Yeah.
And then when that time block is over, move on to the next thing. You should be lead generating 3 to 4 hours a day. You don't necessarily need to be running on the treadmill for 4 hours a day, right? All right. So what I want you to think about when you're putting your list together. So if we're going to talk about my job, these are the things I need to do today to succeed at my job. Once you've compiled your list, I want you to write these 5 things down. What on my list do I need to delete? What on my list do I need to defer to another time in the future? What on my list do I need to automate? What is the technology I can use to make this automatic so I'm no longer responsible for it?
Mm-hmm.
What on my list should I delegate to someone or something else? And what on my list should be consolidated into a simple task? By simply taking your list here of your to-do and asking yourself these 5 questions, we're now creating our success list. All right. And now we have something to create a time block schedule for. And we'll be talking about time blocking soon. Segue, part 2 coming up.
Right. coming soon. I love it. I love the idea of delete and delegate. I think those are the two that we struggle with the most, because as agents, we often think, no, I have to do that. It's only me that I can do that. No, it's a no, no, it can't be. No, it's got to be me. My clients want to hear from me. No, they don't. They don't follow you.
They don't want you. They're not loyal to you. They're loyal to the systems.
Systems. Yes, and the standards that you provide. Absolutely right.
So what questions do you have for me? Somebody ask some questions so I feel like you're listening.
Right. Unmute yourself and ask your brilliant questions.
When you said defer, what do you refers to?
Okay, so I need to plan an open house on a luxury property in 3 weeks. Okay, is that something I must work on today, or is that something I need a time block for Friday? So pushing things in the future that not getting rid of it, but putting it to a time that actually makes more sense. Do you need to be working on creating flyers for your open house during lead gen time, or should you defer that to another time? It's really kind of what.
No, I mean,
lead generation. To make that YouTube video or that TikTok right now, or should you be calling your sphere of influence?
No, we have to call the sphere of influence.
Absolutely.
We have to work in real estate during the lead generation, not on real estate.
Right. That's your job. And when we let all these other things get in the way, that we could either defer them or delete them. Then we're actually just spinning our wheels. We're having a lot of busyness, but we're not actually accomplishing any business.
There you go. Busyness and business is not the same. Not the same. Remember Sanem? Was it Sanem who said she was calling her clients for the holiday? She got 2 listings from it. Didn't call to ask about real estate, but that was her lead gen during the holidays. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Oh, I want to sell my small $380,000 house. That's what works, you guys. Consistent over time.
Any other questions?
No questions. You left them.
Yeah. When you are talking about the 7 circles, you mean we have to work in one by one in order to be successful?
What I mean is you can't do them all at once. Multitasking doesn't work.
Okay.
So as you're giving yourself a score, identify what is the lowest score that you have, and what is, say you've given yourself a 4. What do I need to do this week to move it from a 4 to a 5? So we're always incrementally moving each one of those up one number, one point higher. Now, there may be something that's a low score. However, it's not specifically a priority in your life right now. Now, your spiritual life may be low, but your key relationships are also low. You've got to make a priority. Which one are you going to focus on more today? And then again, can you consolidate those? Do you need to go to church with your family? Like, well, what are you going to do to work on those things together? Those types of things.
Yeah, that is.
Okay. Yes. Work little by little with each of those, but not all at the same time, because multitasking is going to take you nowhere.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not that these are not all 7 equally important. They're simply not going to be, it's not going to be effective to work on them all at the same time. So focus on one and you earn the right to move to the next.
Thank you.
Kevin, can you touch on the difference between business and the job circle? Because that tends to create confusion.
Yeah, so when you think about your business, you're thinking, for instance, if you've got rental properties and you're doing a lot of multifamily. So part of your job is I'm lead generating for multifamily, and I'm lead generating for rental properties, I'm lead generating for Airbnb. Your business is going to be running those properties, the property management of those units. So if you have a sales team, your job is lead generation. Your job is going on appointments. Your job is client events and pop buys and all those things transactional. Your business is development of your people. Your business is the financial aspect of your real estate empire. Your business is going to be education and formation and foundations of your business. So not the day-to-day work of your business, of your job, but it's the things that are actually growing that empire, your organization chart.
Gotcha. So the job is the activities, the business is the machine.
There you go. Perfect. And you may have other businesses that you no longer have to work at. Right? Say I own an insurance company. I'm simply the owner of that insurance company, but somebody else is doing the day-to-day job. I just oversee the business. So it is a little bit different when you start. And this is what we're talking about, wealth building. As you grow, you're using real estate as a catalyst to invest in other businesses.